Morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. I have got questions for you. What opens with Mr. Reek having successfully hustled up on an escape plan for him so he can escape his problems? And what closes with Reek having hustled up on a escape plan for his sister inadvertently so that she escapes his problems. If you guys power season 4 episode 9, that ain't me, you're correct. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I am Angela and the channel is Be Fabulous You. Let's go. Okay, so we see Tariq in his Choate interview, and Reek gets a text from Brains during the interview saying, you know, I got your money. James is behind the interviewer giving Tariq the thumbs up. Tariq is a good talker like his daddy. Choate, 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 Choate. Are they an advertiser or something? This Choate boarding school in Connecticut. Product placement. Hashtag product placement. So then in the vehicle, James is telling Tariq that the interviewer is going to recommend Tariq for admission to the school. And James shares an article declaring that James is innocent. And then Reek is asking his daddy for covert advice. On the surface, it seems to be about Kanan and snitching, but undercover, it's about how Tariq can handle his situation with Brains. And his dad is basically like, he go down, we go down. And Tariq is like, okay, I got it. Thanks, Dad. And then his dad also said, and I guess we'll see this later on in the years or whatever, that guilt eats away at a person until they don't know who they are. Foreshadowing. Then we see Angie's sister Pass is staying with her for protection. We see Tommy on the phone with Papa Tony, and Tommy finds out that he's part Sicilian, and the dad is noting Tommy's bad buttedness to have to kill a Fed, get a Fed kill. And Tony tells Tommy he wants to meet him in person. Tommy is like, I'm a felon. The only way you're going to meet me is in person is if I'm in handcuffs. Teresi is like, there's an exception for family, baby boy. Your mama Kate has proof that you are my son. And then we see Dre with the Primeras, and they're all complaining to Dre about how awful Tommy is. And while in the meeting, Dre gets a text from Kanan saying that he needs to talk about money. Dre assures Cristobal that their plan to get everybody to leave Tommy is going to work. And I don't think I got it in my notes because I was having problems with my playback. But later on, toward the end, they tried, I think that Andre has arranged to have Kanan jumped. He's supposed to probably be meeting up with them, but Kanan escaped. So two guys try to get him, but they don't get Kanan because Kanan can't get got, right? Okay. So then we see Angela at a meeting with her new black woman boss, who is the new Eastern District U.S. Attorney. And she says that she needs Angie's leadership to restore the public's faith in us. The number one thing you got to do is you got to go to the Destroy Injustice Gala honoring James St. Patrick as Victim of the Year. But this will be our last dealing with James St. Patrick. And then the boss lady asks if Angie thinks, just between the two of us, if she should promote Sax or Mock to the head of criminal. And Angela is like, neither, promote me. You just said I saved the Justice Department. And then the boss is like, if you were in charge, if you were me, would you put you in charge? And then we see a walk and talk interview on these mean Queen streets with James and Tate and the reporter Olivia. And Tate leaves early and James is like, opportunity is the only antidote to poverty. I didn't get to go to Choate when a girl from this hood did. I had to fight. I am so humbled that my success and the examples of my failures can help those in need. Okay, so then we see Silver delivering the first of many end of James case boxes and a kiss to Tasha. But he's bothered, he says, that he told the St. Patrick's where Sandoval was, and then surprise, surprise, Sandoval ends up dead. Tasha's like, he was a dirty prosecutor in jail with criminals. He got a bunch of enemies. It could have been any one of them, anyone. And she said, but not before, like as she was saying that, or before she said that, and after she announces that she's gonna leave James after she gets some money. And Silver's like, I don't have any money. And then Tasha's like, no, after James gets some real estate money, I can use that to take the weave shop national. I'm going to franchise it, and I'm going to use the alimony to grow my biz and be independent. Yay, Tasha. Then we see Reek. He's found playing ball by Brains and his +1. The two of them together are like one brain. So I don't know. I can't tell them apart. So half a brain says, you don't look shook. And Reek is like, why should I be shook? Half a brain is like, you ran out so quick. I thought you were running from the cops. Reek, I ain't no snitch. Ask Ray Ray. Half a brain. You talking to Ray Ray? Reek, nope. I'm just saying I'd be guilty by association. Where's my money? Then the brains leave, or the brain +1 leaves, and Reek smiles because he has got this all under control. And then we see James and Simon Stern, and Stern is like, you're New York City's favorite black. How's your black friend Tate? And James is like, he good, and I want a bigger role. I'm a business person. I want to be a business person. And St. Stern is like, I'm going to do the presentation. Things are looking a little too black. You don't know who to trust anyway. And your pay is your loan forgiveness. Don't forget you owe me money, so that's how you getting paid. You are not a partner. Just sit back and be black. Then we see Tommy wrecking Kate's place, looking for his birth certificate. Kate enters and she's like, oh my gosh, you're messing up my doll collection. And Tommy is like, I'm gonna kill all these dolls if you don't give me my birth certificate now. And then she gives it to him and she's like, are you happy? And Tomcat looks at the birth certificate and he's like, no, where's the proof? Teresi is my daddy so I can visit him. And then she's like, what, huh? And he's like, I killed your doll. I killed Holly. And don't think I won't kill you. And then after she gives him the document and he gives her, after he looks at the document, he was like, Teresi was at the hospital the day I was born. He gave me his name. Stay away from me, Ma, forever. And then Tommy takes some drugs with him. And then Kate is like, Tommy. And then we see Tommy in the car getting high. So I guess he'd been off the drugs and now he's going on a drug bender again. Okay, so then we see cop Ray walking in on Brains +1. He like, hey, I've been hearing about y'all down at the precinct. That was your crime, right? You weren't supposed to pull any licks without my okay. But no worries. I just got to make sure so I can cover it up. And then half a brain is like, that Tariq messed everything up. And then Ray is like, Tariq. And then half a brain, he ain't going to say nothing to the cops because then he'll go down too. Then Ray is like, you got bigger problems than the cops. Then Ray shoots one, then the other. The brains is dead. Then Andre and Cristobal are spreading gasoline in the warehouse. And they burn it up or burn it down, whichever way you look at it. Then we see Proctor and Angela, they meeting for lunch or whatever. And Proctor's like, oh, so you here because you didn't get promoted to the head of criminal. With you on this side, we would never lose a case. You are a walking symbol of prosecutorial misconduct. We are a great team, bending the law and the Constitution, taking stuff into our own hands, bending the law to our will. And Angela is like, oh, no, I'm a good person. And she leaves. Then we see Andre and Tommy. And Tommy is finding out about the fire. And he's like, no. And Andre is like, it's good. It was electrical. They didn't find any of the drugs. All of the drugs got, burnt up. Oh, happy day. And they're walking in on the Primeras. And the Primeras are like, where's our stuff? You didn't have drug dealers insurance. We need our drugs. We already paid you. And then Tommy is like, I need time. And then the preacher, and it's kind of like some tension. And the preacher's like, okay. And then Tommy says to Cristobal, get out. You're kind of fired. Because Cristobal had kind of gotten in his face. And then after everybody leaves, Andre says to Tommy, what are you going to do? And then Tommy, sniffing more coke, I'm going to kill the Jimenez, starting with Cristobal, and I'm going to get the Serbs to help. And then we see Tate and James in an office, and they're drinking, and Tate's all upbeat, and he like, what's wrong, James? And James is like, my contract with Stern. In the fine print, it says that he gets basically all of the money. It's like he bought my black behind on auction, and I just really don't know what to do. And Tate is like, what Stern is doing is fraud. This deal is for black or minority businesses. And then James is like, but the service to the community is more important than my money. And then Tate is like, well, maybe I can help. And then we see Raina in class, and an administrator brings Officer Ray Ray in to question Raina during class in front of her classmates about Tariq. Okay, so then we see Tariq with Raina's cuz, his virginity taker. Destiny, is that her name? And they doing lean, and he's trying to get a lean stash up for him to take away to boarding school, I guess. And he telling her about the Connecticut boarding school, and he's inviting her to the school dance that they have tonight. And she's like, oh, I wouldn't fit in, but I'll meet you and bring you some lean. And then Keisha and Tasha are planning their hair empire. And Keisha is like, you sure you okay with no Tommy? I don't want his drug shit anywhere around me. And then Tasha is like, I want to go completely clean and legit. And why ain't you tell me about Tommy? He really hurt you, huh? And Keisha's like, girl, it's my fault. I keep doing the same stuff and expecting something different. And Tasha's like, I know, girl, I am done with Ghost. I'm getting a divorce, and I'm going to get mine once he get that biz going. Forget about that prenup. And then we see a meeting with the council, like the city council or whatever, about the real estate deal. And Stern and Ghost and Tate plus about 5 or 10 other folks are at a conference table. And it's like, Tate is like, before we vote, I noticed the majority owner, Mr. St. Patrick, is not getting ownership pay. He's being paid like an employee. We'll vote to approve once the new contract shows his compensation comes up to his 51% ownership. Okay, so then we see Raina, and she's coming into Reek's room, and she's waking him up, and she's telling him about Officer Ray Ray. And Tariq tells Raina that Ray Ray is a dirty cop, and if I get out of town like T'Chot, it'll go away. And Raina promises not to tell anyone about Ray Ray. And then we see Tommy meeting with the supplier Jason. And Tommy is telling Jason about his problems, and Jason don't really care. And Jason is like, I only deal with clean money, blah, 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 blah. You give me some clean money and I can get you some more drugs. And then Dre is there, and he's getting a text from Kanan, and Kanan is like, don't make me find you. And then Tommy finally gets Jason to agree, I guess, to sell him drugs for clean money. Okay, so then we see Tasha. She's on the phone with the school, and Tommy bursts in. He's all high, he wild, and he loud talking, blah, 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 Vishnu, blah, blah, blah. And he trying to get some clean money. And Tommy is like, you sending Tariq away because he got in trouble? Can't do that. And move some hair so you can cut me a clean check. I need money, Tasha. And then Tasha's like, Reek wants to go away to school. And I'm sorry, bro, but I'm out the game. I'm going legit for real. I can show you how to clean money, though. And Tommy is like, is this about Keisha? I know I messed up, but don't let her change who you are. What about me? Thanks for nothing, T. And then Tasha's like, did y'all have something to do with that prosecutor Sandoval? And Tommy is like, I couldn't let him see another day. And then we see Keisha. She's walking down the street at night, and Tommy rolls up on her, and he tries to sweet talk Keisha back, and he apologizes, and he tells her about his dad being alive, and he tells her that he needs her help. And he's like, Tasha told me, no, but it's because of you, because you hate me. And Keisha's like, no, I'm not going to play myself because the peen is good. That ain't even me, yo. Okay, so she not going along with it. And then we see Angela with Paz, and Paz is like, don't sell out, don't settle, don't go on the criminal side. And then Paz is leaving, and as she's leaving, she flirting with Mock, who's coming in. Ooh, he can wear a tuxedo or whatever. Then Mox is like, I'm getting that head a criminal job, and I want you to come work for me. And Angela's like, you can't win with me on the other side, can you? And then she's like, Tamika should have hired me. The government that embraces the whistleblower is stronger. And then we see a woman recognizing Ghost as his voice as a criminal. She's waitressing, and he's on the TV being interviewed. And she's like, oh, and having a flashback to when he did some criminal stuff to her. I don't really know who she is, but we saw it in the preview too. And then we see the happy St. Patrick family watching the same interview, and Raina is all hugged up in her daddy's arms, and she's happy that Tariq is going to Connecticut even though she's not going. And Tommy comes in, and Reek and Raina are going to the school dance, and James is going to the gala, but Tasha says she's bailing on it because she's tired. She's just going to rest. Then Tommy and Ghost go into Ghost's office, and Tommy is checking Ghost for being all public and on the news. What kind of criminal are you? And Tommy tells Ghost that the Jimenezes are messing him up. They done burnt his stuff up. Ghost is like, you still got problems with the Jimenezes? I thought I fixed that. And then Ghost is concerned about Teresi. He a loose end. And Tommy is like, that's my daddy, not a loose end. And Ghost is like, look, I know you're upset, still upset about Holly. Don't mention Holly. And the drug game is hard, but don't think that your daddy is going to sweep in and fix your life. And then Tommy hits Ghost. And then Ghost checks Tommy for coming in front of his family high. And then Tommy is like, I want clean money. Give me all the money you owe me now. And then Ghost writes the check, and he's like, don't come back to my house until you are sober. And then Tommy is like, don't touch my daddy or I will kill you. And then on the phone, we see the little girl Destiny. She talking. She like, were you scared when you saw Brains shoot that lady? And Reek is like, I don't know what you talking about. I called for some lean. You coming tonight to meet me? And then Destiny is like, I'm supposed to be your girl. You got to tell me stuff. If not, I gotta go. And then Tariq is like, blah, 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 blah. And then Destiny is like, well, I want to hear more. I'm going to talk to you later. So I'll see you at the spot. And then she hangs up. And then we see that Ray Ray is in the background. And he like, something like he did it for you, or he told for you, like, you know, whatever. And then she's like, he did it for the lean. And then Ray Ray is like, give me the phone, little cuz. And then we see Tommy. He's walking up on Dre and the preacher Primero. And he's like, I got the money. Where is everybody? And then the preacher is like, is it true? Are you mounting a war against the Jimenez? I'm not in the drug gang for violence. I'm sorry, I'm out. And then Dre is like, I tried to stop them, man. They are all out. And then Tommy is like, you dumb MF. I gave you one job. And then Dre is like, you got to stop blaming folks for your mistakes. I should walk too. And then Tommy is like, bye. And then Dre is like, if I walk, Thomas, I'm going to be gone for good. And then Tommy is like, get the F out. And I don't need you. I don't need nobody. And you just see him in the warehouse by himself. Then we see Tasha, and she's on the desk, and Silver is between her legs, and they talking, and Angela's like, oh, James won't miss me. It's his big night. And Silver's like, yeah, I sit on the board of that criminal defense organization, but I would much rather be here with you. And then we see James, Tate, and James, Tate, and Simon Stern at the gala with a whole bunch of other people. And Tate is like, congratulations, I'll see you later. And then Stern comes up and he's like, well, the paperwork was revised and it's been approved. And James is like, I didn't know that Tate was going to do that. And Stern is like, when will you learn to trust me? It's time for you to learn who you can trust. And then we see Angela getting the appointment for the new Eastern District Attorney of the New York head of criminal to mock and Saxon's surprise. And I think right before she got appointed, she said something to the black woman, but I missed all of that. Okay, so then we're at the school dance, and Raina is like, Reek, this will be our first birthday apart, because they're twins. I thought they were twins, and then it's like, you can't, people don't, but anyway. And so they spent all their birthdays together, and Reek is like, I didn't even think about that. Then his phone buzzes, and he like, I'll be right back. And Raina's like, where are you going? And then Reek is like, I'll be right back. And then we see Angela, she's going up the stairs, and James is going down the stairs, and they meet and they exchange pleasantries. And Angela is like, you lied in that interview. You didn't go to Choate because you wouldn't leave Tommy. And then James is like, well, we're both living our dream. We never would have come to this moment if it weren't for each other. And then James wistfully watches Angie Valdez walk up the stairs. And then Tate +1 comes up, and he's like, great night. And James is like, yeah, thanks for everything, councilman. You the cat I saw on the block, right? That's what he says to the other guy. And Tate is like, yeah, it's Alphonse, our new community liaison. Let's make sure he's kept whole. And James is like, Tate is like, I did you a favor by making sure that you got more. So it's time for you to reciprocate. Make that happen, boy. Okay, so then we see Tommy and Teresi. And Tommy is like, you know, blah, 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 blah. I'd like to meet the rest of our family. I think he needs some criminal backup because he all alone. But he about to get some backup. Tommy is. Okay. And then we see Tariq outside the dance. And he's like, Destiny, because she had called him or texted him or whatever. And he can't find her. And then Ray walks up. And he like, you know, we cool. And Reek is like, yeah. And then Reek start running like he can feel we ain't cool. This ain't good. And then Raina approaches Ray. And she's like, hey, you were at my school. I know who you are. Reek told me you're dirty. Ray, leave my brother alone. My father is going to kill you. And then Ray shoots Raina. Bam! And then Raina falls down and she's dead. And then Reek comes out and he stands over Raina's dead body. And that's the end of the episode. These reviewers called it, I guess. Well, one reviewer, Color Me Pink, she called it at the beginning of the season. She was like, Raina about to get killed. I'm like, Raina killed? She ain't even got no lines. And all of a sudden she had lines. And now she dead. So to make me happy, because Raina's dead. They would do a terrible good job of writing for that child and that whole storyline. Thumbs up the video, share it widely with all of your friends and family and all of your loved ones and all of the fabulous people you know. Make comments down below. Subscribe. We're working on 150 subscribers. Today is the best day ever. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Peace, baby.